Hey, First Family, it's Pastor David here with your Love Local training for our Fall Blitz that's coming up on October the 28th. I want to run through some things quickly with you, but before I get into it, I just let you know that a lot of the things that we're going to talk about are actually down in the description and comments of this video. So I'm going to reference some lists. I'm going to reference some links. Those are down in the description and the comments, so make sure that you're checking those out for the whole full effect. This is meant to be abbreviated. We went through this in about 45 minutes on Sunday, October the 8th, for those that were there present. So this is going to be shortened down, short, sweet, and to the point. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Let's start with the why. Why are we doing this? Well, we are making a concerted effort at our church to put the go into go and tell for three main reasons: for the glory of Jesus, in obedience to his commands, and because the need is great. Everything we do in Go and Tell is for Christ's glory. It's not for us. We are commanded in Scripture. In fact, that command is plastered over the doors of our sanctuary to make disciples of all nations. And we know that the need in our own community is great. Just a few stats: 61% of the unchurched, 61% of our population in Woodbridge is unchurched. So that should be concern enough for us to want to have a faithful gospel witness. But we also know that the nations, they are next door. Just take a look at this map. Every red dot you see there represents a household where a family lives that is from a country where the gospel has little to no access. And so the saturation of the nations from unreached places on the globe here in Woodbridge is unbelievable. And so if we were to even add the other nations that were represented here, it would just fill up this map full of red. And so we know that just from our unchurched neighbors, from the lost, that this is desperately needed for us to get outside the walls of the church. But we also live in a different spiritual landscape than we did years ago. This is a post-Christian, post-truth society. And you see that everywhere you go, you're bombarded with these messages day in, day out. The difference is that as Christians, we're not buying into them, but your unchurched neighbors, coworkers, and friends likely have. And so when you consider the stats, when you consider the cultural reality, Woodbridge, believe it or not, is equally unreached as many mission fields. So we got to get out there. So let's walk through quickly what we're doing October 28th. We are leveraging where God has placed each of us strategically so that we can have maximum long-term gospel impact. So here's specifically what we need you to do. Serve as a team. This is not an individual or family endeavor. We want you together as a team because we are better together. We were talking about this in our current sermon series in Ephesians. But it also allows us to use our gifts so no one is able to kind of sort of hide in the shadow of someone else. We all get to have these God-given gifts put to good use. So what are we talking about? Teams of 4 to 6 people, because that's manageable. It also doesn't overwhelm your unchurched friends and neighbors. So large groups, if you're part of a large Bible study or affinity-based ministry, we need you to strategically multiply yourselves out across Woodbridge. So if you've not done it already, please pray and identify your who, where, and what. And again, we've given you a list of ideas down in the description and comments that just get the gears turning. You may have some amazing ideas we've not thought of. Fantastic. But we provide you a list of ideas just to get you off to a great start. Then you need to choose a host. Now, what is a host? Basically, that's our point of contact between you and our church. The host does not necessarily have to be the person that owns the home or the property where the Love Local activity will take place, but they do need to make sure that they're the go-between for us, that they are kind of ensuring that everything happens, that they are the ones registering your activity with our church, and that they're the ones who at the end of the day on October 28th take the share a story link and share it with the team. More on that in just a minute. Now, then, once you kind of have the who, where, and what, you've got a host, plan your activity. Now, for some of you, this is easy, but for others, we understand, might be a little bit of a challenge. Therefore, down in the description, we have a link to a activity planning worksheet that will be helpful to you to walk through. It's just a tool. It's not required. It's not like homework you got to turn in. Use it if it helps. Once you have everything planned and you've got everybody, with their roles to play in getting ready for Love Local, we need the host to register the activity. There's a link, again, down in the comments where you can do that. This helps us to know what's happening on October 28th, to pray with you more specifically, to resource you well, and to aid you with any follow-up that needs to happen. And so, if you need, we've also linked an example form just so that you can see what this looks like, what we're asking for. But I will tell you, the planning form and the registration form, those have the same questions. The planning form is way more detailed, but if you're doing the planning form, you can just copy and paste over to the registration form if that helps you out. So then, it's all planned. You're ready to go. Invite your unchurched friends, neighbors, and co-workers. If that's going to be word of mouth, handwritten invitations, signs posted on whatever, however that needs to best happen for your area and for the people that you're inviting. Then on October 28th, we will all hold our activities throughout the day. That's Saturday, and we need to all make connections, give invitations, share gospel truth, and tell a story. Real quickly on those. Make connections. We don't want anyone to walk away from a Love Local activity having not met someone by name from FBCW. So just real simple, hello, good to meet you, learn their name, what they do, talk about the family, find something that you enjoy, and just chit-chat. But give invitations. This is the beginning of a much longer process. So things like inviting people over to dinner, play dates with the kids, out for an afternoon hike. Again, a list down in the descriptions. And then share a gospel truth. Now, this is not a preaching point. This is not the type of event this is. But we do want to clearly signal that we belong to Jesus, not in a vague way. So we have given you also a link down below where you can access a document where we have given 4 categories in which you can craft this. And we have written out 4 examples, one within each category, to help you think of this. Now, let me go ahead and let you in on a little secret. Here's the easiest way to do this. If there is food involved in your Love Local activity, the easiest way to share gospel truth is before you eat, to bless the meal. Just gather everyone together and say, hey, the food's ready, but before we eat, I would like to just pray a blessing over our meal. Pray in your normal way in the name of Christ, amen, and then eat. Okay. The other 4 examples are more for like a wrap up towards the end there. If you want to call it a gospel toast, if that kind of connection works for you to understand what that is, that's fine. Run with it. We've got some tools for you that we can share with you. We have gospel tracks, and we also have digital things that you can go ahead and download. We've put those here. We'll include those in the links and the description below. Think of this as a kit to set to the side, not as something I say that you put at every place setting. This is not that kind of event, but if the conversation goes gospel, we want you to be ready. So we have resources for you to pick up. The print resources will be available for you to pick up on Sunday, October the 22nd. If you want to go ahead and look at those digital resources, download them now and get familiar with them. Then share a story, because we want to know what God is doing through your Love Local event. Again, the host will get a link. The host will then share that link with each team member, and it's going to look like this. Real simple. It's going to just walk you through sharing your story. You can also add video and pictures to it if you would like. We always love visuals. And then, of course, your name, your email, and whether or not it is okay for us to share this publicly. Please know that we will not share your story in any way, social media, on the platform, without your express permission. And then, of course, submit. It's as easy as that. So let me quickly, as I wrap this up, give you a few things to consider. Number one, don't be weird. There is no need to take on a persona of a gospel share for you to have a Love Local event. I'm speaking from experience in ministry. Just be yourself. God has created you. You're amazing. Just you be you and relax and do the Love Local event. But while you're doing it, have fun. Have a great time blessing your neighbors. This is not meant to be a stiff, formal type setting. Just enjoy yourself the way you normally would. But also, don't forget to pray fervently. Pray for the invitees. Pray for them by name if you can, and be praying for their salvation, because you never know when God may use that chat over a meal or over a card game or whatever you're doing for your Love Local, and He may take that and turn it towards the gospel. Be ready. Pray for salvations. And then be intentional with your follow-up. If you make an invitation to someone, make good on that invitation so that you can have another connection to that person. And speaking of invitations, we will also have invitations for our church's Christmas activities, also available that Sunday, October the 22nd, for you to pick up and give out to anyone you'd like to during Love Local. So there you have it, church. I cannot wait to hear and see all that God does through you on Saturday, October 28th, through our Love Local, as we make disciples, as we go and tell.